So hello everyone, and thank you for coming. I'm here to talk about the building of Intelli-mate, which is a product that we built at xgeeks. And before I dive into that, just a bit about myself. So I'm David Alecrim, a staff software engineer at xgeeks, like Fabio mentioned. You have here some of my socials, which will then be available later too. And before I actually dive into the product, I just want to give a bit of context on what we decided to do several months back, which was to do a deep dive in AI. We didn't have much in-house knowledge, so we decided to invest in this. We decided to learn how to use it, how to leverage it, how can we adapt these practices so that we can also position ourselves better in the market and so that we can have better offers and more knowledge on AI. For this deep dive, we did several initiatives, many investigations to better our knowledge of AI, and one of those initiatives is Intelli-mate. And I'll speak a bit more about Intelli-mate just in a bit. So this is me as a stickman, and I'm sure this is true for many of you here, or at least some of you. I use AI a lot in my personal usage, and most invested in the development part of things, and I use it for almost everything that I do. Not most because I needed to do stuff, but more to avoid having to check messy documents, or it speeds a lot my development experience, and I really am more productive using it. I use it for everything, including this presentation, even when I have necessities like what emoji can I associate better with, I don't know, speed or resourcefulness or whatever, and then I have suggestions. I don't have to waste so much time having to check everything that I need to do. And yeah, so this is a nice contract. I have more speed, I have more confidence in what I do, and this is more productive for everyone. And then we thought at xgeeks, what if we had something where not only I can get advantage of the AI tools from my personal usage, but what if I can collaborate with others inside my company? So what if in xgeeks I could share the knowledge that I learn with AI and the chats that I have with AI with more people? That would be better than what I had before. But what if we add even more to this? Document context to what I do. So one thing is to leverage the training sets of the LLMs that we use. And another thing is to actually be able to input more documents into the context and be able to query either the training data sets or the documents that we use according to the necessities and according to the questions that we actually do. So this would be perfect for us and for the use case. And so that's what we set out to do. And to guide the building of this product, we chose LangChain, which at the time was the de facto standard to do stuff in AI. So that's what we did. A small detail here, which is we actually used the TypeScript version, mostly because we were 2 engineers only doing this, and our background is mostly in JavaScript, so that's what we chose to do. We didn't find any real limitations in doing this. Of course, there's the Python part, and it's better in calculations, maths, whatever, and all that. But we didn't actually find any limitations in using the TypeScript one. And yeah, we chose LangChain to do this fast because we wanted to do an MVP as fast as possible and have to prove that we could do a product and be able to leverage this in the community and in the company space, so in the enterprise space. So these are some screens that of the product that we built, and this is the production URL that it's live right now. Just a heads up, this URL will be torn down today, so obviously it costs money for everything that you're going to do here if you choose to investigate it. And I encourage you to do so. If you want to scan it or if you want to check it out later, you can. Feel free to test it out. Just log in with GitHub or email pass and just test it out. Small heads up though, we didn't work on the responsiveness for the mobile. Most of you are on the phone, as it's normal, but we didn't actually do that, so bear with me in that. If you actually want to check this out later in your laptop or anything, it's probably going to be a better experience. So yeah, the product that we built is basically a collaborative chat, a collaborative AI chat with capabilities to actually have documents associated with it. We built this thinking about security first. And what I mean by security first is the information that we share in chats are specific to that chat. We don't share information with people that shouldn't have access to that information. And a bit more rules that we added, but I'm going to cover that a bit later on the presentation. So yeah, that's what we built, and in a little over 4 months. And the interesting part, which is the challenges that we faced while doing so, and probably what you came here for, we faced 4, I guess, major challenges while doing this. First, and I guess almost anyone faces this while building an AI product that's based on chat, which is the context window for the model that you're going to use to communicate with AI. And we faced this rather soon. Like if we had a chat with 10 people, like in 4 or 5 minutes, we hit the context limit window for the chat because we were already at the, for example, 16K token limit for the ChatGPT 3.5 16K model. And I'm going to mention this model because that's the model that's being used in the production environment of xgeeks right now. So this was the first challenge that we faced. The second challenge that we faced was we needed to make this work and to make this a productive tool and to make this an effective tool. We needed to understand how we could do a flow to either query documents or to query the training set of the LLMs, because if not, it would be a mess. And we needed to know where these documents were coming from, where the answers were coming from the document or from the training set. The third challenge that we faced was, again, information security, and we shouldn't underestimate this factor because many companies in the enterprise space don't adopt AI tools in their environments because of security, because they don't know or they can't know if their security is safe, if their information is only their own, or if it passes intermediary points, and maybe companies like Microsoft or whatnot can learn from that data, and many companies don't want that. So we can't underestimate this factor. And about this, we're going to tackle later what we did for this. And the fourth challenge that we faced was the interactivity method. Because one thing is to have like a personal chat where, of course, it's only me and the AI. But what about the collaborative one? Do we ask questions to each other? Do we only ask questions to the AI? How does it work? So this is more an applicational part, not so much AI related, and I'm going to only show this in the demo in the end. But it's also a challenge, maybe not so related to this meetup. So as long as you keep chatting, you're going to face the first challenge, which is the context window. How did we deal with this? So probably most likely how anyone deals with this, which is we have a configured value. And again, I remind you that we were using and are using a model with a 16K token window to have information sent to the LLM. When we hit the limit for the tokens, what we do is we summarize the conversation, we store it in our storage, and then that's the actual memory that we use in the chat. So we have the normal flow of the AI remembering what you are talking about as time progresses. The downside of it is, of course, you start to lose some information because summaries are never as exact as obvious. This is a strategy that we implemented to actually go around that first issue. Then we enter the second challenge, which is probably the most challenging one that we had. And we hit our heads really hard against the wall to actually fix this one. So we were investigating and we were using LangChain, as I mentioned. And our first attempt and first iteration at this was to use LangChain agents to actually decide. So we were leveraging the decision making process of the LangChain agents to either query documents or query the training data sets. And we were relying on it so that we could have our answers back to the people that were going to query it. We had tools that we provided to these chains in LangChain, which were basically for each document that we have, we need a title, we need a description, and this is what you're going to use to know if you're going to query a document or not. And ideally, the agent should be able to decide fairly well if he's going to query the document or not. Fact is, it was really unreliable, at least at the time. It was really, really unreliable. So if we didn't have any document in the context, of course it worked fine. But as soon as we added documents to it, it seems like he only went to the documents. He never actually ignored documents. So it's like it was hitting almost 100% of the time for the documents. And of course, that's not what we wanted because it was gibberish answers that it was providing us. Then we went to our second iteration, which was basically to improve the document ingestion process. When we ingested documents, what we were doing is the regular process of breaking it into chunks. Then we put it in the vector databases so that we can do proximity searches in order to understand if we're closing in on the document to answer the questions that we want or not. And we improved this quite a lot because we were using a regular chain in LangChain to query the chat LLM from GPT. And instead of that chain, we used the summarization chain, the dedicated one, and the summaries were far better, the descriptions that we added to the tools. And that alone improved a bit the solution that we had, and we were still making decisions based on the decision-making process of agents, but it was still unreliable. So we found that we couldn't really trust it for an enterprise environment. Like if it was my personal project, yeah, maybe it was fine, but for enterprise, I really need the confidence that it's going to actually choose well. So we entered our third attempt, which was basically taking control over the decision-making process. So we took control of this. We added one LangChain chain to do queries for the data training set, so without documents in question. And if we had documents, we had a specific chain just for querying documents. So we took control of this decision making, and I'm going to cover it a bit further on. And with this first attempt, and with the improvement of the summarization of the data ingestion process, which was crucial, without that we couldn't make this work, we then had a reliable product. So at this point, we had a collaborative chat where we could query either documents or the data training set, and we could have answers based on one or the other, and we could be confident on the answers it was giving us. At the end of the day, our AI service, which is a dedicated model in the product, it looks a bit, the decision-making model, it looks a bit like this. So we ask things to the AI, and we can cover a bit more about this later on. We ask things to the AI, and do we have documents in the chat or not? Then if we have documents, we ask the question to the LLM with the document and the conversation history in context. Do we get the answer? Yes, then fine, we get the answer back out of the AI service. If not, we continue to do this for each document in the chat. We can have multiple documents in one chat room. If no answers are found in documents, then that's the time where we pass on to our normal chain that actually queries the data training set. And that's what we leverage then. Then we pass on to our third challenge, which is information security. And what we did and how we envisioned this so that security is one focus, and this could be used confidently in an enterprise environment. So first of all, the solution that we built isn't a software as a service or something that's subscription based. It's a standalone. It's a standalone deployable product that you can have in your company, either in cloud or on-prem. You choose. Fact is that you can put it, again, like I said, in the servers or in the cloud. That's what you choose. And it's decoupled enough that the model that you use can be self-hosted or not. It depends on the security needs that you have in the company or in your group. So if you have the model being used from Azure, sure, if security is not your issue, then it also works. If security is really your issue and everything needs to be on-prem, it's also a thing. You can host the model yourself in your servers, and then you only need to configure the applicational level to query that model, and that's it. Applicational-wise, we also took some measures to guarantee information safety. The vector DB collections that we use are by file and by room, so that we don't ever mess with files that are from different rooms. Files uploaded to a room are only available to that room. So even if you upload the same file, for now at least, even if you upload the same file in different rooms, it's always going to be a different file. It's never the same, so that we can guarantee safety here. And we also implemented a role system that allows verifications of unwanted usage or views. So meaning that if I upload the document in my private room, and I say this document is for admins only, and admins, I'm inventing a role in the company. I don't know what roles do you have. Then if I try to invite someone that doesn't have an admin role, we're basically warning like, okay, this person probably shouldn't have access to this information or the history of this chat information. So maybe you want to not invite the person, or maybe you do and you want to ignore the warning, but that's one security measure that we also implemented. And the room privacy concept, which is basically I want to have my rooms, and then I can add the people that I want to add, or the public rooms, much like Slack. So yeah, these were all the challenges that we faced. The fourth challenge, if you remember, was the UI and UX of how we were going to do this. And I think it's better to show it in the demo how the product actually is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can see fine, I think. So this is the product itself. I already created the room here, a private one. If some of you have opened, you're going to face a similar UI. And then what I want to do is I want to upload a document to this chat really quick. So DryLab is a company that I took a PDF from. They're a company working from the US, and they have done some stuff in the past few years. And yeah, what we do is we have this process of ingestion of the document, and we get warnings when it's done. We also have our tools showing the documents that we have in context, and also a summary of the actual document so that we can know what this document is about. In here, we are already leveraging summarization chains from LangChain, and it's working quite fine. Then we can actually query about DryLab. So I'm going to be really basic, but this could be more complex. What is DryLab? And then, oh, I wrote wrong. And then we could query about like what are their operations, what have they been doing, and the model our AI service is always going to be based on the documents here, like you can see. So this is the fact that we know that this answer is based on this document, and we actually know the excerpts of the document where it's based from, so that we can cross-check to see if it's actually true. And this is really useful in an enterprise environment, because I don't want to give information based on hunches or inventions from the AI, right? I want to actually cross-check the thing, because it's still a bit early to fully trust the information AI provides us. So yeah, these are the excerpts where the model based itself to answer me, and the answer is here. So DryLab is a company or organization. It's involved in the development, but well, it's basically information from the PDF that I uploaded. Or if we actually ask about...
Sorry, you are using Shatsian, no? Shatsian? as a system?
I am.
Cool.
Yeah. That's one thing that I didn't take time from. Also, authentication is used with Clerk, so it took me like 15 minutes to actually implement authentication. So if I ask the AI something completely unrelated with documents, I expect the AI to actually answer me with data that's from the training set. And here you can actually see that this is not based on any document, which is expected behavior, and actually what we want. Like Shakespeare is not on the document, so get me information from your training set. Yeah, this is mostly the main functions. When you create rooms, you can actually select which models you want. We built this product for multi-model usage, so that one company may want to use ChatGPT from OpenAI, but maybe they want to have a self-hosted model, and that's okay. Just ask the admin to create that model, and when your employees want to create rooms, they just need to select the actual model they want to use. And then when you have a room with a model, you can only use that one. If you want to use a different model, just create a different room, and that's basically it. Yeah, we then have some other functionalities to invite users, to make the channel private or not, and most like any chat application. And yeah, this is basically it, and I think that's basically time too. So with this, I want to move into QA. If you have any questions. Yeah. Thank you. Yep, go ahead.
Do you have active users?
No. So this is something that we are building. Again, we don't want to provide this as a software as a service, and active users in the sense of using this in xgeeks, we are also not yet using it, mostly because most of us have access to GitHub Copilot and we use it integrated in our IDEs, which is a bit of a better experience because we have access to the context of the files and everything in place, which is even better than this. But yeah, we built this for other types, mostly of businesses that want to leverage AI, and that maybe don't have these integrated tools in their day-to-day tools.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It's really cool. And actually, when I started with LangChain, I tried out the TypeScript flavor as well. So I'm kind of curious, do you do it in TypeScript again? Because I would like a little bit be concerned that I might miss some functionality in Python, because it seems a bit not so much aligned to each other. So sometimes features are in that one, but not in that one. But maybe that changed in the meantime. I didn't looked into it for quite a while. So
me neither. But regarding that, like the fact that I wasn't really concerned about that is the way we built this. Is we didn't yet break this into microservices, but it's modularized, right? So if we actually want to add something in that's only available in LangChain of the Python part, well, that's really not an issue. Just create a different microservice and we can contact with it. It's just a matter of creating this security layer in communication.
Yeah, that's perfect. That sounds very good. Another question. So I guess that is when you did this project. Is how long? When you started this? Let's say.
I don't know when I started this.
So long.
It was last year. No, it was last year around the summertime, I think, and it went around 4 months until, I mean, I don't know, November or something.
Okay, so it's quite a bit, and a little bit happened in that time,
yeah.
You know, how you would redesign? Do you have an idea how you would like do something differently? I guess it.
Well, I have many things that I would actually do to improve. Like the decision-making process of querying the documents is not optimized. Like I do one document at a time, and I ask the question to each document, and we could do that either in parallel so that we could get the answer fast, because the answers that we were asking, you saw that it took a while, and well, it was really direct questions, so it should be fast.
Yeah, and maybe
That's one thing, but yeah, most likely more things regarding.
could be a stream response, because I think that was not a stream response.
It was not a stream response.
Yeah, I think that would be cool as well.
We didn't implement stream responses.
And the last one, which vector database you are using? Something like Redis, or do you?
ChromaDB.
Which one?
So Redis also has the vector approach, but I think that we are hosting this in Azure. And I think to have that access to that feature in the managed services, it was quite expensive.
Yeah.
So what we did was we hosted an open source ChromaDB, and that's our vector DB.
And do you need to do any maintenance of that vector database or something? I didn't work too much with it.
Not really, no, not really. So from our usage, which isn't extensive again, because we're still not using this in production inside xgeeks. From the usage that we had, it was quite reliable on the version that we were deploying, which I don't remember which one it was, but I can check later.
Okay, yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your speech. I have one first question is regarding private and public chats. What is the difference between them? Is it that private chat is not possible to share the link of this, or more differences?
Both. So both, not more differences than that one. So if you have a private room, that's going to be only visible to you when you create it. You could invite people to it, and then they would have access. If you try to share the link publicly, any person that has access to the platform but doesn't have access to the room, it's not the person is not going to be able to visit the room. So you actually need to be invited to have access to the room. That's the difference between private and public. In the public ones, when I register in the platform, and again, let's think that this platform is going to be hosted for the company. So if xgeeks hosted this, the purpose is to be used by xgeeks employees. So it's probably going to make sense that public channels make sense in the context of the company, right? So if I enter the application, in the xgeeks context, I'm going to see public channels that I could join, and I could see the history, I could see the documents, I could see everything, but in the private ones, no.
And is it possible to have conversation between people inside these rooms?
No. So that's one of the design factors that we chose for now, which is every question that you make, and 10 people could be making questions, each question that you make is going to have an AI answer to it.
And one more question. You have documents, and for example, it's regarding security. No matter what is in this document, it is sent to OpenAI, right? And it's not inside the...
Yeah, so you have both approaches. So if security is really your concern and you want to have full control over the full stack of everything, you could host your own model on-prem or in your cloud provider if you have enough confidence that they're not going to sniff around. The only thing that you need to do in the application is a configuration saying, where am I going to contact this in the web? So what's the URL to contact this model? That's what you need to configure. From our perspective, the product doesn't care where the model is. It could be in Azure, it could be in your server, it could be in your house. It really doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. But for example, if I have some documents, but I don't want to share some information, I don't know, email or IP addresses, I don't know. Is it possible to redact them somehow before sending to LLM?
For now, no. But I do want to stress out one thing. We built this open source primarily to make this customizable for the companies that want to adapt it. And the way that we built it is that we expect companies to actually be able to enter the project and make the changes that they want in an easy way. So if that's something that you would want, it would be possible to make, as long as you have engineers in the company, I guess.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi again. After using LangChain and seeing the development around it and learning more about it, would you use LangChain again or just a client? And what would be the benefits of using LangChain?
From the knowledge that I have, and I didn't keep up with the AI world lately, and a lot of stuff happened. For MVPs, I would still probably use LangChain. It helped quite a lot in probably two aspects of the thing, which was the memory part. So the fact that it had already memory classes that I could use for the chat history, it was really helpful because, again, as I was entering the AI world, I didn't have much information, and it kind of guided me through the process, and I could research each part of the process that I wanted to do. So memory was a cool thing that LangChain provided, and the actual different chains that they had. So I really didn't want to understand so much about how I could summarize a document in the correct way, as much as I wanted to have a chain available to actually summarize the document and kind of leverage the speed of it. So the different chains and the memory part of it, I think, are the most beneficial things that LangChain provides.
Thank you.